She's remembered as the ambitious queen who plunged Westeros into civil war. But was Alicent Hightower really a cold-hearted schemer? Or was she something far more human? In George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, Alicent is cast as a ruthless political operator. Yet in House of the Dragon, the show paints a very different picture. One of a woman torn between duty, faith, friendship, and family. In George R.R. Martin's epic fantasy novel, Fire and Blood, Alicent Hightower is presented as a formidable political force. Through the lens of the book, we see her rise from a seemingly advantageous position as a young girl close to the king, to her pivotal role as the wife of King Viserys, and eventually the Queen Mother to Aegon II. However, the narrative voice in Fire and Blood is crucial to understand when examining Alicent's character. The story is filtered through the perspectives of court gossips, mesters, and even fools, painting Alicent as an archetypal Queen Mother. Ambitious, calculating, and manipulative. Her story is one of power and rivalry, particularly in relation to Rhaenyra Targaryen, the king's daughter, who becomes Alicent's chief rival. Their contentious relationship drives much of the plot, culminating in the devastating Targaryen civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. However, the HBO adaptation House of the Dragon offers a compelling contrast to Alicent's portrayal in the book. Show writers have taken the cold history of the book and breathed humanity into Alicent, fashioning her into a woman wrestling with the demands of duty, faith, friendship, and family. Rather than a ruthless schemer, we see her grapple with the crushing weight of responsibility and the difficult choices forced upon her by her father, Otto Hightower, and the men who surround her. The first significant change comes in Alicent's youth. In the book, she is almost immediately introduced as Otto Hightower's daughter, a pawn in her father's grand plan to secure the Iron Throne. Her personal feelings are given no voice, but in the show, we witness Alicent as a shy, kind teenager who befriends Rhaenyra, the king's daughter. Their bond deepens as they share secrets, pray together in the Sept, and even Alicent lets down her guard, showing vulnerability by biting her nails. Before politics tore them apart, Alicent and Rhaenyra were true friends, and this friendship makes their eventual rivalry all the more tragic. Another striking difference emerges after Queen Aemma's death. When King Viserys is faced with the difficult decision to produce an heir. In the book, Otto sends Alicent to comfort the grieving king, and from there, she becomes his new wife. But the show lingers on Alicent's hesitation, the way she fidgets, the nervous glances, the burden of her father's orders pressing down on her. She isn't eager or ambitious here. She's a young girl being used by her father to further his own interests. In Fire and Blood, Alicent's children often feel like extensions of her will, pawns in the game of succession. But in the show, her motherhood is central to her character. We see her agonize over Aegon's flaws, try to manage Aemon's fury, and worry for her daughter Helena. Her choices don't feel like ruthless grabs for power, but desperate attempts to protect her children in a dangerous world. Perhaps the most heartbreaking part of the show's Alicent is her relationship with Rhaenyra. In the book, their rivalry seems predetermined, but the show makes it personal. Alicent feels betrayed by Rhaenyra's lies, manipulated by her father, Otto, and cornered by fear for her family's safety. By the time their bond shatters, it's not just politics, it's grief. When King Viserys dies, the book presents Alicent as resolute. She moves swiftly to crown Aegon and prevent Rhaenyra from seizing the throne. The show adds a tragic twist. Alicent believes she is following Viserys' dying words, misinterpreted though they were. This moment transforms her from a mastermind into a tragic figure swept up by fate. So who is Alicent Hightower? In Fire and Blood, she's the cold queen who plunged her son onto the throne and pushed Westeros into civil war. But in House of the Dragon, she's something more. Alicent is a woman of faith, of love, and of fear, ultimately crushed by the relentless gears of history's judgment. That's what makes her so compelling. Alicent isn't just a villain. She's one of the most tragic figures in all of Targaryen history.